Just hold your horses. If you've been on the internet at all this last week, I know what you're thinking. What? Hopper's alive? But we saw him die at the end of season 3. Remember with the giant laser death ray? It blew up and vaporized everybody that was near it. And Hopper was standing right next to it. He must be dead. The kids, Joyce, everybody was so sad. Elle, she was so sad. I cried. We cried. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're telling me he didn't die? He's alive? Those tears were shed for nothing? Well, yes and no. If you were paying attention during the last episode, you might have noticed that during Hopper's death scene, when he's stuck on the other side of the death laser, he nods to Joyce, letting her know it's okay to shut down the laser, which will kill him in the process. She closes her eyes as tears stream down her cheeks, and she turns the keys. The screen goes black for a few seconds, and then they show us the laser blowing up and disintegrating everyone in the area. During those 10 seconds where we can't see Hopper, something happens where he finds a way down or is taken away by the Russians at the last second. Joyce closed her eyes just like the Duffer Brothers wanted our eyes to be closed for that block of time, and then when we open them, we just see the laser blowing up and assume Hopper's been killed. You have to go back through it and really try to notice that he's not standing where he should have been when it went off. Something happened because a few days ago we got this teaser that opened in a snowy Russia following prisoners working on a railroad surrounded by armed guards, and then it pans to a bald and shaven Hopper. So what happened? How did Hopper escape his imminent death? Why are the Russians keeping him prisoner? And what on earth do the Duffer Brothers have planned for season 4 that's going to be so big that they could reveal their biggest secret that was keeping us all intrigued? This, plus all the other questions season 3 left us with, is why I'm so excited for the next season of Stranger Things. I want to know what happens with the kids, and I want Joyce to find new magnets that stay on her fridge, and I just want Alexei to have his cherry Slurpee and be happy. But they had to go and crush our hearts. So yeah, we'll never know that one. But we're going to go over everything that happened to Hopper up until his stay in Russia, as well as look at what the writers hinted this season will look like, so be sure to watch until the end of the video, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. 1 subscribe equals 1 cherry Slurpee for Alexei. You know what to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy to finally know for sure that Hopper is alive and well, but honestly, we all saw this coming from a mile away. We've known that he survived his death. Well, what should have been his death. But the most surprising thing to me is that he's in Russia, especially considering the last teaser they dropped was super heavy on the Upside Down and Hopper's cabin and the Doomsday Clock. Everything just seemed to be hinting at Hopper being stuck in the Upside Down for some reason. Now, originally, I was thinking that before the death ray exploded, he might have snuck down this ladder right here and hopped into the Upside Down. Hopped? Hopper? Did you get it? Okay, I'll move on. Anyways, I thought he might have gone through the portal before Joyce closed it because it was better than certain death from exploding laser gun. But then it cuts to 3 months later and still no Hopper. So, I don't know how long you can survive in the Upside Down, but maybe Hopper figured out a way. Will was barely alive after a week in the Upside Down. I don't think even Hop could survive for 3 months in there. So then I was like, remember the whole reason the Russians even came to Hawkins was because they were trying to open their own portal to get into the Upside Down for who knows what reason? They've been trying to open a gateway all along, so what if they finally did it and found Hopper in there and that's how he was captured? Maybe the Russians found Hopper in the Upside Down and took him back to Russia. The only problem is that the Upside Down seems to mirror the real world exactly, so if Hopper went into the portal in Hawkins, he'd still be in Hawkins in the Upside Down. And if the Russians went home and figured out how to open a portal back in Russia, they would have access to Russia in the Upside Down. There's no way they could find Hopper. It's more likely that Hopper would be able to walk around Hawkins in the Upside Down and find his cabin and maybe try to signal someone from the real world by flickering his lights or something. Remember, Will used those Christmas lights to communicate with Joyce in the first season? Yeah, I thought they were going to have Hopper go flicker his cabin lights like we saw in the teaser, but I guess not. Instead, it looks like the Russians somehow got him in between when Joyce closed her eyes, way to go Joyce, and a split second before everything exploded. And I don't think there was a time gap either. They showed us Joyce turning the key, and then a few seconds later, boom! So I think it all just happened really fast. But let's look at the post-credit scene real quick. Now, this is why the teaser threw me off. We can see that we're back in Russia in what looks to be a prison, and we follow these 2 guards down a row of cells until they stop and one of them comments, "Not the American." Now, for me, this was too easy. Of course everyone would think it's Hopper behind that cell, but you know what? The Duffer Brothers are a little trickier than that. What if they want you to believe it's Hopper, and then it's secretly someone else? Like maybe Elle's dad, Dr. Brenner. I mean, that would make sense. Let's go back to season 1. Remember this? Apparently, he's not dead. Which, how on earth do you survive this, by the way? Why couldn't they have saved Bob? R.I.P. Bob. But yeah, in season 2, when Eleven was hunting down the scientists, we learned that Dr. Brenner is in fact still alive and out there somewhere, which is pretty unsettling.
I can help you find him.
Find who?
Brenner! I can take you to him. He is alive.
He's definitely going to turn back up in an upcoming episode, so I was thinking maybe they want us to think that Hopper's the American, but it's secretly Dr. Brenner, because they were literally going to get food for this new white Demogorgon they're holding, which, by the way, where did they get this from? Did they get it out of their own portal, or find it while they were still at Hawkins? Or maybe they pulled a Jurassic Park and bioengineered their own hybrid Demogorgon with some DNA they got at the portal.
Bingo. Dino DNA.
Who knows? But the thing is, they didn't want to feed the American to this Demogorgon. They fed it some other helpless prisoner. In theory, you would have to have a reason to want to keep that person alive. Like, maybe they know something that you don't know. Maybe they can help you open a portal of your own. I mean, we know they were having trouble with that, and that's why they came to Hawkins, and Dr. Brenner is the person who was able to open the very first portal and make contact with the Upside Down. So it only makes sense that Dr. Brenner is the American. They had 3 months they could have hunted him down to make him help them open a portal. What reason do they have for keeping Hopper alive? He doesn't know anything about opening portals or making contact with the other side. He only knows punch, kick, and shoot until something blows up. He's the rundown Indiana Jones of this series, not the brains behind the big evil plan. But he is in Russia now, so I guess that means we're all comrades of the Red Army. Yay! And you know what's really interesting? The writers of Stranger Things decided to go ahead and give us a little tease by showing off some more of their inspiration for this next season. They tweeted a list of movies which includes I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, Papillion, The Great Escape, Stalag 17, and The Shawshank Redemption, all of which are prison movies involving a big escape. I think this just goes to show that a lot of this season will be focused on Hopper in prison in Russia and trying to escape. But they also tweeted out the title of the first episode, The Hellfire Club. Now first you're thinking a name for a new club the kids started when they moved away or something, right? Well, that is a possibility. The Hellfire Club actually originated from the X-Men series and was an elite group of baddies that the mutants would often face up against. These were actually the bad guys in X-Men First Class. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think it consisted of like Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost, and Azazel, which is awesome. And they were trying to start World War III to wipe out the humans from the face of the earth so that they could repopulate and live in an only mutant world under their new leader, Shaw. In the comics, they were this group of elites that sought to influence world events for their own agenda. It was them that started the Cuban Missile Crisis that made the CIA turn to Charles Xavier to form their own team of mutants to fight the bad guys. So maybe this has a double meaning. Maybe it's because the Russians are trying to use the Upside Down and engineer their own Demogorgons to use as weapons to change the fate of the world, which in turn will cause the kids to come together with some other help to form a team to fight this new threat. Or maybe it refers to the kids because they're the ones that will be changing the fate of the world, saving it from Russians unleashing Demogorgons as soldiers on everyone. I'm not sure yet. What do you think? Send it to a friend or tell me your thoughts down in the comments. And I'm sure that wherever the kids end up moving to, they'll end up starting a new club while keeping in touch with everyone back in Hawkins. And maybe there will be a more shallow reference to that too. But let's take another look at this new teaser real quick. Is that who I think it is? Yup, that right there is Gus Johnson? Is that you? What are you doing in Russia? No, this guy is Tom. Hold on.
Hi, Kiss92. I'm Tom Vlaschia, and
This guy is Tom Vlaschia. You probably know him better as Jaqen Hagar. He was one of the faceless men that trained Arya Stark in Game of Thrones to become an assassin. And he was also Max Schenkel. He was also Max Schenkel from Jack Ryan, the German operative who almost killed him in his room. The thing is, this guy plays a good bad guy. There's a reason he's going to be in season 4. They didn't just get him to walk around the prisoners holding a gun. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot of him, I feel like. Kind of like the Terminator in season 3. He was kind of Hopper's main rival. I think in this season, this character will be giving Hop a good run for his money. And speaking of Hopper in Russia, did anyone notice that he'll be in the upcoming Black Widow movie? He's playing the Red Guardian. Basically, Russia created their own Captain America. And I can't wait to see him in this movie. And guess what the character's name is? Guess what it is? Alexei. What are the chances? Is this the same universe or is this the same universe? Could you imagine? Watch them turn this into a spin-off Marvel show and Eleven is just another mutant? They've got mutants and monsters and now heroes? What if Hopper has to become the Red Guardian to escape the Russian prison? That's genius! Everything goes hand in hand. I don't see why this can't work. And overall, I'm still pretty shocked that they released this information that Hopper's alive and in Russia. Like, that was the biggest cliffhanger ever, and they already cleared it up for us, and it probably doesn't even come out till Christmas. Fingers crossed. I mean, I bet they have something really crazy to release in their big trailer that's just going to hook us even harder. Like, maybe the Russians in their lab making white demogorgons, or showing us Brenner helping them open a portal. Who knows? I can't wait for this season. I still think the kids are going to have to charge into the Upside Down just to kill the Mind Flayer once and for all, unless they're going to make another final season and just focus on getting Hopper out of Russia in season 4. Since season 2, the producers have always said that they wanted to travel and take the show out of Hawkins because there's only so much that can happen in that evil lab, so I have a good feeling we'll be seeing the kids go on a road trip really soon. Ooh, I also just finished my very first miniseries. I got to partner with Amino to create an original animated series that I've been working on with the talented Eroa for the last few months. If you're a fan of my channel and the videos I make, I think you'll like the show. It's an alien abduction story called Spaced Out that I used a lot of sci-fi inspiration to make. You can find it on the app called Amino. Just search for Spaced Out, and after you watch it, it's only like 12 minutes long, come back and tell me what you thought about it. Some of the episodes get a little bit tense, you could say, but I'm super proud of it. Thanks for the continued support. The channel's almost at 100K, and I don't even know what to say. I'm so grateful that this many people enjoy the videos I make. I can't wait for the next 100K. Thanks for being here along for the ride. I'll be back with another video soon, but for now, go watch another video, and I'll be seeing you guys in the comments. Peace.